Ladies and gentlemen, the mind is the most powerful instrument you have been given, and yet most people live their lives unaware of how much control they truly possess over their destiny. Every single result in your life begins not with luck, not with chance, not even with external circumstances, but with the thoughts that dominate your mind. The mind acts as a gateway, a filter, and a director of your life's path. What you allow to enter and what you choose to dwell upon becomes the very foundation on which your emotions are built. And those emotions are not random. Every emotion sets the tone for the decisions you make, the actions you take, and ultimately the results you experience. If you're struggling with negative feelings, it is not because your destiny is broken or your future is blocked. It is because the gate of your mind is unguarded and letting in ideas and perceptions that don't serve you. Once you begin to understand that you hold the authority over this gate, you recognize that destiny is not written in stone. It is written in thought. When a person continuously entertains doubt, fear, or hopelessness, they unknowingly create an environment where those emotions can grow stronger. And emotions are not passive, they direct behavior. Fear makes you hesitate, doubt makes you procrastinate, hopelessness makes you quit too soon. None of these emotions align with the destiny you are capable of living. On the other hand, when you allow faith-filled, empowering, and creative thoughts to dominate your mind, those thoughts trigger different emotions, courage, excitement, resilience. Suddenly, your actions reflect strength instead of weakness, and you take steps that align with possibility instead of limitation. The gateway of your mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seed you plant. If you plant weeds, weeds grow. If you plant flowers, beauty grows. The choice is not in the soil, but in the seed you decide to allow in. It is important to realize that negative feelings are not your enemy by nature. They are signals. They are reminders that you have allowed thoughts to linger that do not serve your future. Imagine your mind as a house, and negative feelings are alarms going off. You don't live with the alarm blaring forever. You get up and investigate what triggered it. You ask, what thought am I entertaining that is making me feel this way? What belief am I holding that contradicts the life I desire? This awareness is where transformation begins. Instead of running from negative feelings or believing they are permanent, you learn to trace them back to their source, and the source is always a thought, an idea, a belief, sometimes unconscious, sometimes deeply ingrained. Once identified, you have the authority to challenge it, to reject it, and to replace it. Your destiny does not respond to what happens outside of you nearly as much as it responds to what you choose to believe within you. You can have two people face the same circumstance. One spirals into negativity while the other rises with resilience. The difference is not in the circumstance, it is in the management of their inner world. One person left the gate of their mind open for doubt, while the other protected it with faith and vision. You cannot stop every negative event in life, but you can absolutely choose how you process and internalize it. This is why some people go through pain and come out stronger, while others go through the same pain and come out weaker. The deciding factor is how they use their mind in the midst of the storm. If you truly desire to step into a season where you smile bigger than your prayers ever imagined, you must become intentional about what you let dominate your thinking. Most people allow outside voices, past failures, or current fears to write their internal script. They replay memories of disappointment. They meditate on what could go wrong. They give attention to the voices that told them they couldn't make it. Each time they replay that narrative, the negative feeling grows stronger, and the destiny they want moves further away. But the moment you make a conscious decision to become the gatekeeper of your mind, you begin to choose different thoughts. You say no to ideas that don't align with your desired future. You refuse to let negative stories dictate your emotions. You deliberately focus on images of success, on memories of strength, on promises of abundance. And every time you do, you strengthen the emotion of belief, the feeling of confidence, the energy of determination. It is not enough to know this in theory. You must practice it daily. Begin to observe your thoughts like a guard at the entrance of a city. Ask yourself, does this thought serve my destiny, or does it sabotage it? Does this belief empower me, or does it weaken me? If it weakens you, do not let it stay. Replace it with a thought that carries life, that ignites hope, that lifts your spirit. Over time, this practice rewires your emotional state. Your natural response becomes resilience instead of defeat, faith instead of fear, gratitude instead of complaint. The gate of your mind becomes stronger, and as a result, your destiny becomes clearer. The direction of your feelings is determined by the direction of your focus, and this truth holds the power to change the entire course of your life. Feelings are not accidents. They do not appear without a cause, and they do not linger without permission. Every emotion that rises up within you is directly linked to what you are paying attention to. When your mind is filled with images of loss, failure, and fear, your feelings naturally bend towards sadness, anxiety, and defeat. When your focus shifts toward possibility, abundance, and growth, your emotions elevate to joy, confidence, and determination. The human mind is like a spotlight. It cannot shine in every direction at once. It illuminates whatever it is fixed upon, and whatever it lights up becomes magnified, influencing your internal state. This is why so many people feel trapped in cycles of negativity. They are unknowingly focusing the spotlight of their attention on everything that could go wrong rather than on what could go right. It is easy to let the mind wander into negative territory because the world constantly offers distractions, bad news, and reminders of what isn't working. If you are not intentional, you will naturally default to focusing on lack instead of abundance, obstacles instead of opportunities, fear instead of faith. But when you recognize that feelings follow focus, you begin to reclaim control. You realize that your emotional state is not random or permanent. It is a reflection of what you repeatedly dwell on. If you think about failure long enough, you will feel like a failure. If you imagine rejection over and over, you will walk into new opportunities expecting rejection. The mind creates pictures, and the body responds as if those pictures were reality. That is why the cycle of negativity is so dangerous. It convinces you to feel emotions about a future that hasn't even happened yet. You feel defeated in advance, hopeless in advance, fearful in advance, and those emotions guide your choices in the present. Shifting your focus is not about denying reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It is about choosing where to place the majority of your attention. If you have 10 things in your life and 7 of them are going wrong while 3 are going right, you get to decide which ones dominate your focus. If you dwell on the 7, you drown in discouragement. If you shift your attention to the 3, your energy changes, your hope rises, and your creativity awakens. The problems don't disappear, but your mindset becomes strong enough to deal with them. Focus is fuel. What you continually think about is what you strengthen. This is why people who focus on possibilities seem to attract solutions, while those who focus on problems seem to multiply them. The mind magnifies what it meditates on. Many people underestimate the effect of focus because it feels intangible, but you can see its impact everywhere. A person who wakes up and immediately focuses on everything they dislike about their life will carry those feelings all day. They will see inconveniences as proof that nothing works for them. They will interpret challenges as signs of defeat, and they will miss opportunities because their attention is elsewhere. Contrast this with someone who wakes up and deliberately directs their focus toward gratitude, possibility, and progress. That person will carry different feelings, and those feelings will influence how they interact, how they speak, and how they respond. The same world, the same environment, but 2 entirely different emotional realities because of focus. To take control of your feelings, you must take control of your focus. Begin by asking yourself throughout the day, what am I giving my attention to right now? Is it what I want or what I fear? Am I focused on the outcome I desire or the obstacles in my way? Your mind is like a camera. If you point it at the storm, you magnify the storm. If you point it at the sunlight breaking through, you magnify the light. The discipline of shifting focus is not something that happens once. It is something you practice moment by moment until it becomes natural. Eventually, Your default becomes possibility over limitation, gratitude over complaint, faith over fear. When you change your focus, your entire inner world changes with it. Your energy lifts, your creativity sharpens, your resilience strengthens. Negative feelings lose their grip because you are no longer feeding them. They only survive when you keep your attention on them. When you starve them of focus, they wither away. At the same time, positive emotions grow stronger because you continually nourish them with intentional thoughts and visions. This shift is what opens the door to breakthroughs because the universe, opportunities, and even people respond to the energy you radiate. Focus creates feeling, feeling creates energy, and energy attracts outcomes. It begins with where you choose to direct your attention because feelings will always follow. Negative energy, when understood correctly, can become one of the most powerful tools for transformation in your life. Most people look at fear, doubt, frustration, or sadness as enemies that must be avoided at all costs. But the truth is, these emotions carry energy that can be redirected. Every feeling you have is fuel. It is raw power. The problem is not the presence of the emotion. The problem is how you choose to use it. When fear rises, it is a signal that something matters to you, that there is something at stake, and that you are standing on the edge of growth. Instead of letting that fear paralyze you, you can harness its energy to prepare to act with urgency and to move with precision. Doubt, instead of being a wall, can become a mirror showing you the areas where you need to strengthen your belief, your skills, or your plan. Even anger, when not allowed to control you, can become a motivator that pushes you to refuse mediocrity and step into a higher version of yourself. The truth is, negative feelings only become destructive when you resist them or let them dominate you. When you fight against them, you give them more power. When you surrender to them, you let them dictate your choices. But when you learn to acknowledge them, process them, and channel their energy, you turn what was once a weakness into strength. Imagine a fire can burn down a forest, or it can be harnessed to cook food, to provide warmth, to create light. The fire itself is not the problem. The way it is used determines whether it destroys or builds. Negative emotions are the same. They are fire, and when you learn to direct them, they can fuel your progress rather than hinder it. Think about the times when frustration has driven innovation. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in history came because someone became frustrated with the way things were and decided to create something better. That negative energy became a spark for creativity. Think about how pain can awaken purpose. Many people who create movements, who build businesses, who inspire millions, started from a place of personal struggle. Their pain gave them a deeper passion and drive to help others. What was once a negative feeling became the very fuel for their destiny. The same is available to you. Your fear can fuel courage. Your sadness can deepen compassion, your doubt can sharpen determination, and your frustration can push you into action. The key lies in reframing how you interpret these emotions. Instead of saying, I feel fear, so I must stop, you say, I feel fear, which means I am stepping into new territory, and that's where growth happens. Instead of saying, I feel doubt, so maybe I'm not capable, you say, I feel doubt, which means I need to strengthen my belief and prepare with even greater focus. Every negative emotion becomes a teacher, pointing you toward areas of growth. When you embrace them in this way, you no longer feel the need to run from them. You begin to see them as allies in disguise, partners in your journey toward a greater destiny. This process does not happen by accident. It requires awareness and intention. The first step is to pause and notice when negative emotions arise. Too often people act impulsively when they feel fear or anger, and those impulsive reactions create damage. But if you pause, you create space between the feeling and the reaction. In that space, you can choose how to use the energy. You can ask, what is this emotion trying to show me? How can I channel this energy into something constructive? This simple shift changes everything because it places you back in control. You are no longer a victim of your emotions. You are the director of their energy. The second step is to channel the energy into aligned action. If you feel fear, use it to fuel preparation and courage. If you feel anger, use it to fuel determination and resolve. If you feel sadness, use it to fuel empathy and connection with others. Redirect the emotion into something that serves you instead of sabotaging you. The energy is the same, but the outcome becomes different because you have taken responsibility for where you direct it. Over time, this habit transforms the way you experience life. Negative emotions no longer feel like a threat. They feel like opportunities to harness more energy for your growth. Finally, you must recognize that the greatest victories often come from the most difficult emotions. When you look back at moments in your life that shaped you, chances are they were not moments of ease and comfort. They were moments when you faced fear, disappointment, or frustration, and you chose to rise anyway. Those negative feelings became part of your story, and when harnessed correctly, they turned into stepping stones toward your destiny. This is why learning to use negative energy as fuel is so vital. It ensures that no emotion is wasted, no struggle is meaningless, and no challenge is in vain. Every ounce of energy, even from the darkest feelings, can be transformed into the light that guides you forward. Gratitude has the unique ability to multiply blessings far beyond what you originally asked for. It is more than a polite habit or a simple acknowledgement of something good. It is a force that shifts the atmosphere of your life. Gratitude is a perspective, a lens through which you choose to view the world. And it has the power to transform ordinary moments into extraordinary ones. When you practice gratitude, you are not only recognizing what you already have, but also creating space for more to come. It takes what looks like scarcity and reveals hidden abundance. It takes what seems insufficient and shows you how to see it as more than enough. Gratitude reprograms your emotions, refocuses your mind, and repositions your spirit to receive in ways that often exceed what you prayed for. Many people pray for blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs, but they forget that gratitude is the soil where those prayers take root. Without gratitude, even the greatest blessing can be overlooked, underappreciated, or wasted. With gratitude, even the smallest step forward feels like progress, and that energy attracts greater progress. Gratitude is not passive. It is active alignment with abundance. It declares that no matter what circumstances look like, you choose to acknowledge the good, and by doing so, you magnify it. If you continually focus on what is missing, you breed feelings of lack, frustration, and envy. But when you discipline your mind to focus on what is already present, you breed feelings of joy, hope, and expectation. Those feelings change your energy, and your energy changes what you attract. Gratitude has a way of multiplying because it changes the way you interpret experiences. A person without gratitude may look at a difficult season and only see pain, but a person with gratitude can look at the same season and see growth, lessons, resilience, and preparation. One focuses on what was lost, the other focuses on what was gained. That difference in perspective leads to a difference in outcomes. The one who practices gratitude carries an elevated emotional state, which creates clarity, resilience, and openness to opportunity. Life tends to give more to the person who is ready to receive it, and gratitude is what opens the hands of your spirit to hold more. This is why people who live with gratitude often seem to walk into blessings that surpass what they expected. They do not wait for life to be perfect to give thanks. They give thanks in the middle of imperfection, and life responds by surprising them with more. Gratitude also strengthens the ability to endure difficulties without becoming consumed by negativity. When challenges arise, most people fixate on what is going wrong and feed feelings of defeat. Gratitude shifts that focus toward what is still working, what lessons are being learned, and what opportunities are being birthed, even in the middle of pain. This shift does not deny the reality of hardship, but it prevents hardship from defining your entire outlook. When you are grateful, you discover that every setback carries within it a seed of comeback. Every delay carries a hidden gift of timing, and every disappointment has the potential to redirect you towards something better. That awareness keeps your heart open and your faith strong, allowing you to continue moving forward even when life doesn't look the way you imagine. One of the most powerful effects of gratitude is that it raises your emotional vibration. When you are truly thankful, your heart feels lighter. Your energy feels brighter and your words carry more life. This energy influences how people respond to you, how opportunities are drawn to you, and how you interpret situations around you. A grateful person walks into a room differently. They see possibilities, they speak with kindness, they radiate openness. That presence alone creates connections and draws favor. Gratitude builds momentum because it not only transforms the way you feel, but also the way the world interacts with you. What begins as an internal decision to give thanks begins to echo outward, touching relationships, careers, finances, and health in ways that exceed what you could have calculated. Gratitude also anchors your prayers with expectation. When you give thanks for